Hello, Sim here. For some of you this is going to be an eagerly awaited video, and for those of you who just found my lag comp guide video, you'll be glad that you did. This is a no bullshit guide, it really does work. Check out my lag comp playlist in the description and you'll see a lot of happy gamers leaving lots of comments thanking me for my help. So for the solution to work, you need to have some other key things in place first, which will improve your online gaming experience as a whole. So I'm going to jump straight into those first. So tip number one, make sure your console is connected via Ethernet cable and not wireless. So if you're worried about cabling mess, don't worry. There's these things called power line Ethernet adapters. You plug them into your electric sockets, you put Ethernet cable from your router into one of these plugs, put an Ethernet cable from another plug next to your console into your console, and hey presto, you've got an Ethernet cable via electricity lines. It's cool, it works, I don't care how it works, but it works. So why do we want to use this Ethernet and not wireless? Simply, it's all down to latency. Wireless is slower to respond. Think of it as a Formula 1 car versus a tractor. Which one is going to get to 60 miles an hour first when you press the pedal? The F1 car, of course. It's all about horsepower, it's not about your top speed. Moving on to the next tip, UPnP. Make sure you have it enabled in your router. It allows you to game easily with multiple consoles in the house. Now, why is UPnP important? Well, routers have firewalls in them which block traffic, think gaming packets, so if they get blocked, your gaming experience online is going to be, well, not very good. So UPnP does magic to figure out what stuff to open up in the firewall to allow your gaming experience to be cool and work nicely. Now, if you've got an old router and you don't have UPnP, there's another alternative method called port forwarding. If you go to portforward.com, it's got excellent resources and it has all the routers in there to tell you how to go and do it. So when you go into COD, you'll see the thing saying NAT equals open. If your NAT's reported as open, fantastic. Sometimes you'll get over time when you've been gaming a lot that it'll report it as moderate, and all you need to do is reboot your router and hey presto, you're sorted. Now in my previous videos I've talked about DNS and optimizing it, and for those of you thinking what the heck is DNS, Sim? I don't even know what it is. In simple terms, think of it as Yellow Pages. Think of it as a telephone directory. You go and look up a person's name, you get their telephone number. The same thing for the internet. You take a web address page and it gives you the IP address. That's all it is. Namebench is a Google provided piece of software. It allows you to find the fastest DNS server for you. If you've got a bad ISP, I'd probably recommend using it. And you can set it in your console. I do have a video that shows you how to go and do this for PS3, so it should give you an idea of how to do it on a console in general once you go to that advanced network settings. Be aware though, if you do set it to a DNS IP address that happens to be, let's say I'm in the UK and I set it to one in the US, I'm more likely going to be matched up against US players. So just bear that in mind. I don't happen to use a DNS optimization anymore, I just use my local ISP. But that's an option that's available to you should you need to pursue it. Another thing that's definitely handy to do when I recommend doing it is reboot your router regularly. I would recommend rebooting it once a week. The ones that are developed for household consumers, you know, need a little clean. So just imagine it's like having a Windows PC on. It gets a bit slow and sluggish. You reboot the PC, it's now fast and snappy. The same thing comes to your router. Another good thing to do, my final tip before I get into the final solution, is to use your console speed test option that's available. Now, this is not just a tool to tell you how fast your network speed is, it's used for a couple of other purposes too. One, it wakes up your PlayStation network or Xbox Live network to say, hey, I've been downloading at max speed, I want you to be ready to rock and roll with my gaming. It also, you can use it as a game network health indicator. Once you've run this a couple of times, you'll know typically what your gaming network reports for upload and download speeds. Bearing in mind that the PS3 tends to report speeds of a slower nature than reality. But for example, the other day I had an Xbox Live session and it said my max upload speed was 1.5 megs, and it's like, where's my 20 meg upload speed? I jumped onto another PC, it was there, so I knew that the Xbox Live service was, well, not very healthy. So let's now move on to the main fix that does that magic. And it's to do with bandwidth and throttling your upload and download speed connections. Remember, it's not about your top speed, but how fast you can respond. So it works 90–95% of the time. It's not a magic bullet, and I've had a lot of happy gamers leave comments on my channel. I can tell you that much. Ridiculous. So I got a video which I've linked to start halfway through to show how I set it up on a TP-Link router for ADSL and sort of fibre. I think Virgin and BT for those of you who are in the UK. So why do I recommend TP-Link? Simply because they're affordable and they have the feature required that's out of the box. I don't have to do any hacking or custom firmware loading or anything like that. And if you're thinking about doing that, then you'll need to go and search for forums for help on that, because that's out of my remit of help. And if you're wondering will I get sponsorship from TP-Link, the answer is no. So other routers that are out there do have this global upload speed restriction option only. And when I say global, I mean it affects all your network devices, not just targeted just to your console. But you can use it as a control test to go, oh, I really don't want to spend money to buy another router. You can use it as a test to go, oh, actually I've restricted my upload speed like Sim suggested, and actually my gaming experience is better. I might go and get that other router now. I'm more convinced. But upload by itself is not the total solution. You need an upload and download solution to be implemented. Now, ISP routers tend to be poor. They tend to have a lot less features, so just an FYI. So this bandwidth control, although the video is primarily for restricting it for your COD and your gaming console to have that good gaming experience, if you're in a family environment where you've got your brother, your sister, your wife, your father, whatever, who are streaming videos a lot, well, you can control them too so they don't eat up all your internet connection, so you can still have a good gaming experience without being, well, stuffed. So a little bit of UK specific info just for a second, because I think it's important to cover. So in the UK we got BT and Virgin. BT uses fibre to the green little box in the street, and they use copper from that to your house, and you have what's called a VDSL modem and router setup traditionally, and Virgin is completely fibre all the way. Unfortunately, with the latest BT Home Hub 5, they've got the modem built in, and it's a very slow router modem setup by BT. One of my relatives had a BT Home Hub 5, and the max download speed was restricted to 20 megs. eBay came to the rescue. We got a VDSL modem connected up to a TP-Link router, and hey presto, we got the full whack 80 meg download. There are some VDSL modem router combinations that are coming on market by TP-Link, but that's the alternative solution if you've got a Home Hub 5. Virgin, you just switched the router modem into a modem only mode. I don't know if the latest models have got some restriction, but traditionally what you do is put them into modem only modes, and then you take the cable from the modem and put it into your router, and hey presto. I talk about it in my other video, but I just wanted to cover that for a second. So keep watching this video because I've got some more info. So be aware you don't want to use a quality of service. It's nothing to do with bandwidth control. Think of quality of service as first class post versus second class post. It's all about packet prioritization, and this is not what we want. We want bandwidth control, and the best way of thinking about it, if I keep the car analogy, is a rev limiter. I've limited its top speed. In this case, I've limited the download speed and the upload speed. So doing this reduces the severity of the lag comp that gets applied to you. Now the tip I definitely will give you is that the ideal ratio that I found for me is a 2:1, i.e. the download speed is twice your upload speed. It works really good. Now there is a difference between next gen and last gen. So I found for me personally, for the Xbox One and the PS4, higher values are better. The PS3 needs to be a bit more tighter, and lower values are required, and I expect the same for the Xbox 360. I don't own an Xbox 360, but I am sure it still applies to be the same. So the ideal values regarding upload and download speeds are going to be specific to you, and it's all dependent on network topology. And if you're going, what the heck are you talking about when you talk about network topology? The easiest way I can describe it is think about roads. The motorways are your backbone of the internet. Then you've got A roads, and they're slower than the motorways. And then you've got village roads, and they're real slow. So if you live in a village, your car, think of it as network packets, it's going to take a little while to get to the motorway before it then gets back to the final destination in another village. So 90-95% of the time, this solution is going to work. But keeping along with the road analogy, if you've got bad congestion, think of a traffic accident, you're going to have a real slow network. It doesn't matter what route you try to go down, you're going to be sitting in a traffic jam. So you're going to need to experiment to find out what upload and download speeds are suitable and best for you. And different times of the day, just like traffic, there's rush hour and there's ordinary traffic. So you've got peak times and non-time. So be aware, play about. So playing solo, what are the best upload and download speeds that I can recommend at this point in time? For the PS3, it's 192 kilobits up and 384 kilobits down. Xbox One and PS4, 224 up and 448 kilobits down works well, especially in ground war. Now, another thing to bear in mind is if you're playing in parties and you've been heavily aggressive on throttling your download and upload speeds, it will affect your friends in the party. So you're going to need to increase your values to be fair to your friends. If you're in a party that's mixed, let's say US and UK gamers, then you're going to expect to encounter lag because the network topology involved. There's distance to travel. You've got network packets having to travel from the UK over to the US and vice versa. It's going to be slow. So that's my tips. It really does work. There's times when I found that you just turn it off. So I only turn on my lag compensation fix when I need to. If I can get away with not throttling, I will do so. But as soon as I start experiencing bad lag and bad games, you can switch it on. But it doesn't always work due to network congestion. And I hope you found this video useful and informative. Do check out the lag compensation guide. Probably watch all the videos because I cover different things over different games. I go into more in depth of how to go and implement this. And I wish you all the luck and have a good COD gaming experience. So if you found the video informative, useful, please drop a like. I really do appreciate it. Drop some comments to tell me how your gaming experience has improved. I really want to know. And as always, feel free to go and subscribe. Until next time, this has been Sim.